sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's Ryan's Falcons going up against Roethlisberger's Steelers. So let's get you up to the Steel City. Standing by in Pittsburgh, here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Atlanta Falcons and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. In 12 regular season games this last year for Bell, averaging over 150 yards from scrimmage. First two games in the playoffs were great, but, you know, getting injured in the final game probably leaves a bad taste in his mouth.
Leaves a bad taste, gives him fuel for the next season, though, because remember, for the last few years, he hasn't been able to play a full season for various reasons. Now, going into next year, imagine those numbers over a 16-game season and heading into the playoffs. Le'Veon Bell can set new records.
And on 2nd and 10 now. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And it's complete to Ladarius Green. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And here we go. We get to see the Falcons again on offense, a crew that last year scored 540 points, tied for 8th most all time. But my question is this, such a crushing Super Bowl loss in the offseason, does that set you back big time, or does that fuel and feed you momentum-wise going forward?
It should fuel and feed you momentum-wise going forward, partner. That's exactly how it's supposed to react, and that's what you'll see in the Falcons locker room in the entire offseason. They'll talk about finishing, unfinished business, things of that nature. But we have seen where teams have not recovered from it. Remember the Rams? They got to a Super Bowl, got beat by the Patriots, didn't get back there again. The Broncos in 2013, number one offense, number one scoring offense. They didn't get back in 2014, but they did in 2015. So you can recover from it.
Fair catch called for and made, but now we'll have to see about the penalty. And one of the Gunners made some contact with a returner there, and that's going to be a penalty every time.
And they have to call it because the punt returner is defenseless at that point. He's looking for the football coming down from the sky. You have to protect him.
Oh, design run for their wideout. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And a man, as we look at the starters now, a man who really has earned us talking about him in the booth, Julio Jones.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver each and every year. So sleek, so wonderful. I call him Secretariat.
He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. They'll come out in the pistol. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Partner, he sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
They come up with one running back. That's Bell. And they'll give it to him here. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. On the right side, caught by Green. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It'll be a pickup of 13 on the play, and that's going to make it third down and less than a yard. They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4.
I can't say that I was really in love with the play call there. A draw in that situation, I know it's a risk-reward call. If it works, he walks in. But otherwise, you're bringing up a really tough fourth down situation.
And the offense inside the 5 here at the 4. It's first and goal. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. So they ran against the 4-6 defense. Not only did they run against it, they tried to run it right up the gut.
And that's really not a great place to go when you're running against what is commonly known as the Bear defense, made popular by those great Chicago Bears teams. No place to go right in the middle of that.
Ball spotted at the 4. It's second and goal. Roethlisberger with a give to Bell. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. So they're back at the 7 now for third and goal. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving.
Key 26, key 26.
This will be play number 8 on the drive. It's third and goal. On third and goal, Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete. Sammy Coates, the intended target there. Now fourth down. Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. And we were scoreless up until this point in the second quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we've got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along, or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
So out come the Falcons now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And for Coleman, if you combine the rushing and receiving yards, close to 1,000 last year. He had 8 touchdowns as well. It was just really a great 1-2 combo with Devontae Freeman.
An outstanding one, and just think if he's on just about any other NFL team, he's probably the lead running back. And Devontae Freeman gets the bulk of the carries. But Coleman, when he does get his hands on the football, he really produces a big way, speaking of the numbers you just gave.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
And, Brandon, I think Mohamed Sanu had a nice career while he was in Cincinnati, but he really elevated in 2016 in Atlanta. The most catches for himself in a single season.
59 of them, 4 touchdowns. Really a nice compliment to Julio Jones, and he was a nice compliment in Cincinnati. I don't want to say he's not a number 1 receiver, but he plays that number 2 slot well, doesn't he?
He does, and I think it's because of his versatility. He can play in the slot. He can play out wide. They can use him as a wildcat quarterback. He has thrown passes in the NFL. In fact, going back to his days at Rutgers, I think he threw 18 passes while he was at Rutgers, so you never know what you're going to get when Mohamed Sanu has his hands on the football.
In the red zone this time. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13.
And when you watch Devontae Freeman run the football, you can almost close your eyes and hear him running the football, can't you? Because people just scatter. I mean, you know, when he goes through a pile, it moves in a positive direction for him. I just love how hard he plays the game.
1,000-yard season. He had 11 touchdowns last year. In March, 25 years old. So he's kind of hitting that sweet spot for a running back, isn't he?
He really is, and I still remember the evaluation of him coming out of college. He does everything well, but you weren't sure he had a dominant trait. Well, wrong about that. He's dominant just about everything he does, and I think that he's going to continue to elevate his game and seek a 3rd Pro Bowl in 2017.
They run. Devontae Freeman. And, Charles, I know Ryan Shazier, who made that tackle, a youngster you like a lot.
I love him, and I liked him a bunch coming out of Ohio State because the more this game leans towards speed and less on bulk, that's where Ryan Shazier excels because of his ability to run down plays. If anything goes away from him, he'll chase it. A lot of the time, he can run with tight ends, running backs downfield, and pass coverage. That only helps his outside linebackers like James Harrison and Bud Dupree get to the quarterback.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Now they'll throw it with Ryan. This will be caught at about the 6. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now from back at the 5, this is 3rd and goal. And the play clock running very low, so Dan Quinn decides to call for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, 4th down.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
And the kick for the 41-year-old is up and good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So the drive takes him inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And now out come the Steelers. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And caught right side, Green. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 13 yards there on the pickup. And it's good enough for a Pittsburgh first down. And they're going to speed things up here. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On second down, Roethlisberger. Green's got it over the middle. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. 3rd down now following the completed pass. They're going to hurry back to the line now. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete. A disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. And now 4th down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum. Big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that that fell harmlessly to the ground. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And it'll be Falcon football as they take possession. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They'll come up now in the Wildcat package. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now. Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 66 yards. And the Falcons have taken the lead. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And the Steelers set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot. But there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the Combine, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and minicamps. We get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
Roethlisberger now off the bootleg. Rush coming, and he's taken down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. The Falcons going to use another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And this is a spot late in the clock near midfield, though. Maybe take a couple chances, see if you get in field goal range.
You do that if you have trust. And this should be a position now where the great ones, they relish this opportunity to try and put points on the board.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. To throw is Ryan. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones, his intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. And you really can't pin that one on the quarterback, Charles. The O-line, they've got to protect that.
And they know it. That's their meal ticket. They want to take care of the big guy behind them. In this case, they let him down.
It's caught. Jones. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And this one is right down the middle. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Here's Eric Weems now on the return. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now what they want to see here, he's still down on the field. Obviously such an important part of their passing game, and the training staff, they're going to have to attend to it. And the drive starts with a handoff to Coleman. And he's brought down after a good gain. It's a pickup of 21. And that leads to an Atlanta 1st down.
You got to feel a little bit for the defense there. They've done a terrific job all day long holding this guy in check. But that might have been the run to break things out for him, maybe turn things around. Now he's going to have some confidence, and maybe he'll get to his normal yardage.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And the head coach reaches for the red flag, tosses it down on the field. He wants a challenge here. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Ryan keeps it on the sneak. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make the play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
11 yards for number 11.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. And that's caught by Tammy. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
And Brandon, from our time in college football,
Take a breath, inhale, exhale now, breathe.